What's going on, guys? It's Nick here, back with another video. It's Monday, so you know what time it is. Time for the Mock Draft Monday. This week, going back to half PPR, we'll do a 10-team league this time. You guys have been asking for more of those. We will randomize a top 5 pick. We've done, number 1. We've done mid and late recently, and we'll go back up to 3 wide receivers. A bit of a fun format, 3 wide receiver, 1 flex spot, half PPR. We'll put quarterback on slightly high because, again, no matter how much I put quarterback on high, that is not drafting them later on, so I don't want to make it ridiculous and how early they're going early on. Number 1 pick this season, obviously 3 wide receiver format. We're going Jamar Chase, so that'll be an easy start for us. Okay, we take Chase. Looks like they still go a little bit running back heavy early on. Bijan, Saquon, Jahmyr Gibbs, and then a run at wide receiver, Jefferson, Amon-Ra, Lamb, Brian Thomas Jr. round out round 1. We see Neighbors, Brown, Puka Nacua, Nico Collins, and London going round 2. Lamar comes off the board. None of the tight ends go. And then McCaffrey, Genty, JT, Henry, and Achane come off the board at other positions. Okay. Position being running back, obviously. We're not going to go quarterback. We don't do round 2 quarterback. We'll do round 3 quarterback, maybe, but not at 1. So I'm more just like, maybe it's just something in my mind. I'm more of a mid-third quarterback guy. My rankings right now in this format actually have late third. So I have Lamar as the number 1 quarterback at 34th overall. So we're obviously not going to take him at 20 or 21. Again, my general take at quarterback is there are so many amazing quarterbacks in a 1 quarterback league, especially in a 10-team league. There is going to be a point in the draft where quarterback becomes a value, even in a 12-team league, even in a 14-team league. It's going to happen at some point. Wait for that point to happen. Okay, we're not going to take quarterback. Bowers and McBride are interesting. Obviously, this is a 3 wide receiver format. Wide receiver value has gone way, way, way up. We still need running backs on the team. And so the value of quarterback and tight end drop because their positions stay the same. Running back drops as well, but not as fast as quarterback and tight end, in my opinion. So, Bowers, he'd be the top guy, but he's at 24. And we're at 20. And since it kind of drops off there, we're not going to go there. I can keep the stars on there. They won't be there in round 4, but they would be the top options there. At wide receiver, I have Ladd as the actually pretty clear. Not pretty clear because Rashee Rice is on the board. But Ladd, Rice, Higgins after that, and Tyreek Hill. Those are the top wide receivers on the board right now. And for running back, no one beats them out, but it would be Bucky, and then Jacobs, and then Chase Brown. Boom, boom, boom. So we have a decision. We are 100% drafting at least 1 wide receiver here, and that would be Ladd. So why don't we just do that? There is not a world where I would not take a second wide receiver at that turn. Our option after that is to go Bucky and to kind of lock up that second running back. It is a top, I think I have it ranked 3rd this season, but inarguably a top 5 offensive line for the Buccaneers. They are a great offense. He is a great player. Everything screams Bucky Irving's going to have an awesome season this year. He'll be involved in the receiving game, like everything. Everything points to him being good in fantasy. So that would be nice to kind of lock that up, to have a semi-hero RB build, and to give ourselves a little bit more flexibility going into the 4th and 5th round turn. Just because, if there happen to be 2 wide receivers we really like, do we want to go 5 wide receivers in a row? No, we do not want to do that. And so maybe want to open the door for some value there. Other option is we go with Rice. We go with someone who could absolutely be a top 5 wide receiver this season and unlock a potential outcome where, because I think Ladd could be that too, where we have 3 top 5 wide receivers. And in a format like this, I mean, it would just be, we'd make playoff instantly. Like these 3 picks could just make us playoffs if they're actually producing at this sort of level. Doesn't matter what running back we end up having. Personally, though, I think it becomes too risky. So I would suggest, you take Bucky Irving, you smooth out the risk a little bit, take him, and then we'll see what's available after that. So go with Bucky. Wow. We almost could have gotten, I'll tell you what happened after. We almost could have gotten sick value at wide receiver, but we don't. Running backs to go. Kyron, Jacobs, Mixon, Brown, Brees, and James Cook. Nothing crazy there. Maybe Brees should go a little bit earlier than Mixon, but I don't have too many problems with that. Bowers, McBride go in the mid-third round. We see Allen, Jaden, and Hurts go. So now the top 4 quarterbacks are gone. There's a drop-off into Burrow at 5. We will not take Burrow at this pick. And we will probably not take a tight end, but it's actually very close. Where do I have Kittle? I have Kittle at 49. We're at 40. So I love Kittle, but we're not going to end up taking him at this turn. So no quarterback for us, no tight end, even without looking at the rankings there. Wide receivers that go. Rice, of course. Then Tyreek Hill, JSN, T, and then the 3 picks right before us, Garrett Wilson, Mike Evans, Marv. So that's kind of unfortunate. Let's take a look. So Metcalf's on the board. That would obviously be very nice for us. DJ Moore is on the board. It's DJ Moore. Then I also have Worthy, which I feel like I need to keep bumping him down a little bit. I've talked a lot about Rashee Rice recently, and Worthy is a player that obviously directly gets hurt by Rice being there. My take on the Chiefs situation is that you've got Rice being that guy to start last season. It was very clear the game plan was he is like our new Travis Kelce. He doesn't play tight end, but he's that guy we're using over the middle of the field. We're designing a ton of looks to. He is that guy. He gets hurt. They're like, okay, well, I guess we bring Kelce back. Not that he was gone, but like he wasn't doing anything the first couple of weeks. Okay, throw him back into that role. Mix in Worthy into that role over the season because he wasn't working deep, so they kind of gave him more of the short stuff. But with Rice back, you kick Kelce out into a more marginal role. You throw Worthy more into that deep threat that he wasn't doing that great on early in the season. And so I just have some concerns here. I've baked that into the projections, and he still projects pretty well. But I will say, if I drop him 2 points, which is like 1 catch for Worthy, he will drop like 8 spots in the rankings, and he will drop past where we would take him in this pick. So I think I will end up doing that just because I'm probably just a little bit too high over consensus. And if my general thought is that it's going to be Rice over Worthy, I should be dropping Worthy a little bit further down the rankings. So we won't take Worthy here, and I'll adjust that. I'll make a note after this video to do that. So DJ Moore and Metcalf, those would be the 2. I've seen the people who again are concerned. Oh wait, no, I actually didn't see that Adams was still on the board or McLaurin. I don't know why my eyes quite literally looked at DJ Moore and DK Metcalf on the screen right now and thought that they were the top 2 for some reason. They're not the top 2. It is Devonta Adams and Terry McLaurin, and then it's DJ Moore, then DK Metcalf. So actually a little bit better for us. Adams, I have at 30. Terry McLaurin, I have at 29. So we're looking great if we wanted to double dip at that spot. But I also really like Ken Walker this season. And if we look at the difference, I mean, you do have Amarian Hampton at 47. Actually, Amarian Hampton's like right next to Ken Walker. But I really like Ken Walker this season, and I guess a theoretical chance we could get, probably not. We could maybe get Hampton at the turn. But the difference between Ken Walker and some of these other running backs, Chuba Hubbard, Alvin Kamara, James Conner, Monty, Swift, like maybe in a projection standpoint, they're not too different, but I think the ceiling of Ken Walker, if this offense can get clicking and if he resumes as like that feature running back that he was last season, we know he's a lot better than Charbonnet. He's a great running back. He's in the prime of his career. Like, I really like the ceiling on Ken Walker. So my gut says the best move here is secure Ken Walker, grab our favorite between McLaurin and Adams. I think that's super, super, super close. I think because of the potential holdout concerns that we're looking at there, I guess right now I would probably lean, if I was drafting now, which I am pretending for this, I'd probably lean towards Adams just from like a safety perspective. Even if McLaurin didn't hold out into the season, if he holds out into camp in any way, that's still going to impact things early on. So I think that's what I want to do. Instead of drafting last wide receiver flex spot here, grab Ken Walker, grab Adams. We're looking really strong at wide receiver and running back, and then we'll just kind of attack those positions as things go. I just feel a little bit of risk. Like if I don't take Walker and like even through like Swift could be gone, then I'm not going to love my running back 2 as much as I would like to, especially in a 10-team league. So I don't want to forego it too long. So again, I think take Ken Walker and then take Adams. So our starting lineup right now, Bucky Irving, Ken Walker, Jamar Chase, Ladd McConkey, and Devontae Adams. Okay. After we go, Kittle does come off the board at 5'10". No quarterbacks come off the board, so we do have the option of Burrow. We're now at 60. I have Burrow at 57, so good value and is that last of the elite quarterbacks, so definitely an option. Stack with Chase. We know that the Bengals defense is going to be atrocious this season. I mean, the Bengals are probably going off, and if Chase is working out with my 101, it's pretty darn likely that Burrow is working out as well. So again, you don't chase stacks in redraft leagues, but when they happen, it is totally fine. I can say I think that the Bengals are going to have a bad defense, but a great offense this season, a lot of shootouts. That's going to benefit my first round pick and my sixth round pick. And that's a good thing to do in fantasy. Other than that, we had an even mixture of running backs and wide receivers. Hampton, Chuba, Kamara, James Conner, Harvey, Henderson go off the board. And then we see DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin, Travis Hunter, Flowers, Worthy, J-Mo, Metcalf, Sutton, Tet, Pickens, and Devonta Smith all go on a wide receiver. Okay. We're probably going to take Burrow with one of these picks. Sam Laporta would be interesting, but I have him at 70. It wouldn't be a bad idea to take Laporta again as we kind of work into 10-team leagues. 10-team leagues into 18 leagues, like it can become more beneficial if you're trying to win that championship to have that good quarterback and tight end. But again, with this being a 3 wide receiver format, I can start 4 every week. I probably want 5 I feel good about, so I want to keep hammering the wide receiver position. So I don't want to take too much off from there. Because there's so many tight ends I like late, I'm totally fine. Keep hammering wide receiver. Even if we wanted to draft 2 late, I'm fine doing that because we're not going to draft 2 quarterbacks late because we're going to end up taking Joe Burrow with this pick. So we'll take Burrow. Between running back and wide receiver, again, I like Monty. I like Swift. I like Aaron Jones, but I would still prefer Jordan Mason to Aaron Jones. So I won't start him. Tony Pollard I like. Judkins I like. But not like I'm not in love with any of those options. I would say it's Monty and Swift are probably the 2 that like would make the most sense at this pick. But I have Monty at 64. We're at 61, so not amazing value. Wide receivers, gone. It looks like Dunze's gone as well. Sad. Sometimes, he isn't. Sometimes I miss him when I'm trying to look for this. It looks like Dunze. It looks like Sutton is gone. Calvin Ridley would be a top wide receiver. Addison up there. And Olave, Godwin, Judy. But then actually Waddle. I was wondering where Waddle was going to be. So Waddle I have at 52. Dunze 55. Ridley 61. And since also Dunze's lower by their ranking here, there's just a better chance that he becomes available to us. I think I would rather go with Waddle. You have that insane contingent upside of if Tyreek Hill were to suffer an injury, were to get traded away, were to just quit the team for some reason, Waddle is a locked and loaded wide receiver 1 every week. He's got 150 and 3 touchdown upside every single time he steps onto the field, and he'd be my 4th wide receiver. Just the ceiling there is kind of too great to pass up. His ceiling is obviously the highest of anyone on this list. So we'll go with Waddle. Pull up the draft board. After we go, again, we want to see quarterbacks because we're not taking another one for us to draft. We see Mahomes, Fields, and Baker go. We see Laporta and Hawkinson go at tight end, so probably not targeting tight end this range. Data very much suggests tight end early or tight end late double dipping, not really targeting the middle unless it's a really good value. So I would take Hawkinson, I'd take Laporta if they were good values. They have not been thus far in the draft. And then again, even mixture of running back and wide receiver, pretty much everyone you would think. So I'm not going to list off everyone, but it's most of the players that we had start off from before. 2 remain though, Judy and Dunze. And my gut says, I don't want to pass this value up. Those 2, Judy, Dunze, I think far and away the best guys. I mean, after them, it's like Myers, Debo, Reed, Diggs, Downs, Ayuk, Pittman. Guys I like, but the certainty and the upside combination of Judy and Dunze is way too high. I think if you do that, you take those 2. I've got Chase, Ladd, Adams, Waddle, Judy, Dunze. That's 5 wide receivers I like. Again, in a 3 wide receiver format with a flex spot, I want 5 I like because I've got 5 bye weeks, 5 potential injuries, 5 potential bad weather spots, 5 potential just bad matchup spots, I will use that 5th wide receiver a lot more than you think. Plus, I might just draft a bust. Adams is 32 years old right now. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it's around there. Could he drop off and do really nothing? Certainly. So now if I move Waddle into that spot, Judy and Adunze, I've just got more options. I now think it is 6 now that I've been saying things. But regardless, it kind of opens up a door to where with these 6 that I have now, will have when I click draft, I'm going to have 5 I like, because the odds that I don't draft a bust here are close to 0%. I bring it up a lot, but we've done studies in the past that show like your likelihood of hitting on a start worthy option. Round 1, round 2, you're at like 90%. You are probably going to hit on someone who's at minimum contributing to your team. Round 3, round 4, it drops off a little bit. You're closer to like 75 or so percent, but still a pretty good chance. Round 5 drops off a cliff, very low production. 6, 7, 8, you stabilize. In round 8, you're at like 25%. And I know that sounds crazy to be like, there's no way it's only a 25% chance of drafting a start worthy option. It's that low. So we're going to be drafting busts. We want to have a lot of guys that we like. And again, the position is just so valuable in this format. I think take these 2 and maybe not take any more, or maybe only take 1 more. And again, wide receiver is another position where like there will be options after this, but it falls off a lot quicker than you think it does. So in this format, I just want to lock up all the options that I feel good about. And now it's like, all right, you guys fight over the wide receivers that kind of don't have any upside, that probably are not going to be that good this season. I'm done with wide receiver. I'll go back to other positions. So the team: Joe Burrow, Bucky Irving, Kenneth Walker, Jamar Chase, Ladd, Adams, Waddle, Judy, Adunze. We need tight end, but it's not a range where we want to draft tight end. You should be waiting longer past this range. You should be double dipping late. That'll leave us a tight end spot. That'll leave us 1 bench spot. So 3 more bench spots that should probably all be running back if we're being honest. So I think you double dip on running back at this pick. And then you kind of just see where tight end is after that. But if running back was gross, you could consider doing a running back and a tight end. But definitely don't be double dipping at quarterback, having already drafted Joe Burrow. So our options: Tyjae Spears, Rachaad White is an option. It's an okay handcuff. Obviously, we don't want Bucky Irving to get injured, but unless Sean Tucker really takes a step forward, if Bucky Irving went down, we should expect Rachaad White to have a pretty large role, not be efficient, but behind a good offensive line on a great team, he'd still be someone we're starting every week. So it actually probably would make a lot of sense to kind of secure that, especially being risky, right? We only have 2 right now, and it's the 10th round. It would make sense for us to just kind of mitigate some of that risk and be like, okay, if we suffer an injury here, it could really negatively impact us. But if we just spend a pick right here on Rachaad White, we're totally fine. He's going to see more value. Maybe he's not Bucky Irving, but he's going to have a lot of value in fantasy. So my gut says just take those 2. There's actually a pretty okay drop-off after that. I'm good with Tank Bigsby. Bashaw Tootin I would take over Tank Bigsby. I'd be fine with Trey Benson. I'd be fine with Ray Davis, but obviously those are just handcuffs. We have no idea if they're actually going to work out. Whereas Spears could have production this season if maybe Tony Pollard starts to fall off. And again, Rachaad White as a handcuff. So I would say those 2 make the most sense for us to draft. So we'll double dip on those 2. Pull up the draft board. We have 4 picks left. 2 are tight end, 1 is defense, and 1 will probably be another running back. I'm not going to mention everything that happens here, but unfortunately, a mini tight end run. Evan Ingram, Tucker Kraft, Dalton Kincaid, and Jonnu Smith. Bashaw Tootin does get drafted. It's a very good thing I upped the rookie thing here. You basically have to do that when you're doing these mock drafts. People are going to take rookies. But then we do love to see Bo Nix, Brock Purdy, Justin Herbert, and Caleb Williams go off the board because, again, we're not taking quarterbacks. So Benson's still an option. The handcuffs I would like here are Benson, Tyler Algier, Isaac Urendo, Jaden Blue I would definitely like. I would probably like Blue the most, although it's very close between him and Trey Benson. It kind of comes down to who you think wins the job in Dallas. But I like betting on Blue, so I might go in that direction. Andrew's still an option. I mean, I feel like that's a pretty obvious play to make. You guys know I'm starting to be a little bit off Travis Kelce this season. Would it be a bad idea to use my late round double dip on Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce? No, but what have I done to the rankings? Let me pull up tight end. right, so I haven't done it yet. My plan right now, I have in my notes, is to drop him behind Evan Ingram, but he's drafted right before Jonnu, and that's still ahead of Njoku. So, interesting. So basically the option is here. You double dip Andrews, Kelsey, or you take Andrews and then you draft one of like Goddard or Ferguson because they would probably be available after that. And if not, you could take someone a little bit later on. Probably not a bad move. Potential that Jaden Blue's not going to be there. So would I rather have Andrews, Kelsey, and Marshawn Lloyd, we'll say, or would I rather have Andrews, Blue, and I don't know, Goddard or Ferguson? That's basically what it comes down to. I really just don't think Kelsey's going to do anything this season. But I'm still way behind ADP. I mean, I'm around behind ADP at 101 and we're at 120. So the smart play would probably be, I don't have like that much confidence in Jaden Blue doing anything. So just take Andrews and Kelsey, hope one of them does something. Jaden Blue ends up being there at our next pick, so we'll end up taking him. And then I'll show you guys the draft board, but then we'll take a defense after this. So that worked out. I think this team is quite strong. We'll see what the grade gives us. I don't always agree with the grades, but I think this team's quite strong. Burrow, Bucky, Ken Walker, Jamar Chase, Ladd, Adams, Mark Andrews, Jalen Waddle, and then we've got Judy, Adunze, Spears, Rashad White, Kelsey, and Jaden Blue. And then I actually did defense rankings, finally. I haven't looked necessarily early in the season what the schedule is, but I actually did the defense rankings, so maybe we can go through. Oh, we have all of our options. Well, it's the Broncos. But if you guys want to know what the defense rankings have right now, I'm looking, they're a little bit different than what we're seeing on the screen. I have it Broncos, Steelers, Texans, Bears, Vikings, Cowboys, 49ers, Bills. That's like what the top 8 I just listed off. I will make small adjustments to that as I look through early season schedule, and I'll give artificial bumps up and down to people who have good or bad early season schedules. Another thing I added to the website is offensive line rankings. So if you guys want to see who has the best and worst offensive lines, you can look there. But we will take the Broncos and we will hop on out of here in this draft. 96, I agree. There, we'll say we agree when it's a good one. There we go. I think that's probably going to let you see everything. But if you can't see Jaden Blue, it's Jaden Blue at the bottom. So the team: Burrow, Bucky, Ken, Chase, Ladd, Adams, Andrews, Waddle, Broncos. Then we've got Judy, Adunze, Spears, White, Kelsey, and Jaden Blue at running back. Let me know what you think of the team in the comment section down below. We are streaming live tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. So instead of 6 p.m., it's going to be 2 p.m. We're going to go live with Davis Maddock. Probably do some Underdog drafts. So it's going to be on his channel, not on mine, but I'll tweet that out. I will put that in the Discord so you guys can see. But going live on Davis Maddock's channel tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern. That'll do it for this one. Thank you all for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Please leave a like if you have made it this far. I'll catch you all on the next one.